Hey, it's Jen Lewis. You're listening to Smart Keto Academy podcast, episode number 2. Welcome to Smart Keto Academy podcast. I'm your host, Jen Lewis, where I teach you the only smart and strategic keto lifestyle for women over 40. Real coaching, real strategies, real success. This is Smart Keto Academy. Hey, welcome back, everybody. And if you're a new listener, welcome. We're glad to have you here. Today's episode is all about if you are that achiever, all in, overachiever type person, love to succeed, love to take on big things, and yet your weight loss goals, your weight loss isn't happening as quickly as you'd like, and maybe you're feeling a little bit of frustration or overwhelm, this episode is for you. How can you streamline your efforts and really help you get to your goals?
Whatever I set my mind to, I will accomplish. Having that achiever type mentality, I'm all in. And so I want to ask you about yourself. Are you that all in type of person? Are you that achiever that that need to achieve, that need to accomplish what we set out to accomplish? But what ends up happening if you're that achiever type person is likely we go all in and then we get this feeling of overwhelm and being uncomfortable. And that is what we're going to talk about a little bit. And how do you deal with that feeling in weight loss? Because as an achiever, you're somebody who wants to go all in. You want this done yesterday and you want what you're doing to work. You want it to be as quick as possible, as efficient as possible. You have a ton going on in your life and you don't want this weight loss thing to be a struggle. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about when we have this achiever type mentality, when we have this all-in type thought process, and then we feel overwhelmed, what do we do? When I begin to feel overwhelmed, it's usually for a couple of reasons. It's usually because I have this big goal. I have a lot going on in my life aside from this big goal. And I have it in my mind that I have to do it.
I have to do it all by myself and right now. It's such a common feeling with my clients. They have these big weight loss goals, go out strong, they lose a bunch of weight, and then about 7 weeks in, it slows down a little bit. Their weight loss slows down and they need a little bit more coaching to really help them get through. They are frustrated, maybe feeling a little bit overwhelmed because it's not happening as quickly as it did in the beginning. And they start to question, can I really get to my goals? And that's usually when they find me and when they've just been sitting there in overwhelm and frustration and beginning to doubt themselves and having that negative self-talk that happens that really isn't serving them in anything. Instead, it's just creating these feelings of overwhelm. They start thinking about the 50 pounds, and then all of a sudden, they can't figure out how. All they're thinking about is how much they have to lose, and getting into that feeling of overwhelm, getting into that feeling of disempowerment and not being able to see the light per se and figure out step by step how to get there. I want you to think about your own weight loss story and what are the stories that you tell yourself? And do you have a success story to look at and really propel you forward? Or is it one of
Past, there's been an experience where you've tried and then you've gained it back, or you've tried and it worked for a little bit and then slowed down. So maybe you gave up, got a little bit bored, weren't real happy with the results. And what happens? We tend to stop and maybe move on to something else that's a little bit more exciting. And so when you get in that mindset, I want you to think about that. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen, I want you to really think about this for a minute. What is overwhelm to you? So 99% of my clients come to me because they feel completely overwhelmed. They have career, they have family, they have relationships, they have all these things going on, and weight loss is just a struggle for them, right? And kind of like in life, when you've set out in your career, you had a clear plan, you knew what you wanted to do, and you knew how to get there. That's how you get through overwhelm. That's how you go from point A to point B, or that's how you go from 250 pounds to 130 pounds, is you somewhat have that goal in mind, and then you have the plan, and then you have the support to keep you going to get there. And so what I want you to do, what I want to work you through today, is really sit for a moment, and I want you to think about, why do you feel overwhelmed? When you think about everything in your life and how weight loss pertains to it, okay, why do you feel overwhelmed? And this exercise is a powerful thing. And I don't want you to just sit there with it in your head, because that's when we have even more overwhelm, because it's all in our head. We haven't gotten it down in front of us. We don't have a clear understanding of what's actually going on. The first exercise I want to walk you through is writing down all the reasons you feel overwhelmed around your weight loss. So my clients, almost 100% of the time, the word that comes out of their mouth is overwhelmed. So why are they overwhelmed? Well, because let's say you work 15-hour days, and by the time you get home, you don't feel like cooking. Or what are some of the reasons? That's the question I want to ask you. What are some of the reasons weight loss is a struggle for you? And I want you to write that down. So it's not enough. I don't want you just to keep this in your mind. I want you to write it down. Why is weight loss a struggle for me? Some of the things that I hear is, I don't have time. I don't know what to cook. I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to plan my meals that are actually going to work, right? It feels like just one more chore I have to do on already busy day. What are some of the reasons that you feel like weight loss is a struggle for you? One of the common things I've been hearing lately is, well, I feel like my hormones are out of balance. So that might be one of them. I don't have time. I've tried it in the past and it hasn't worked for me. I have these saboteurs in my life that I eat this way, but nobody else in my family wants me to. Or my husband is constantly bringing home treats. That's my husband. I mean, he's constantly bringing home stuff. And so maybe that's what it is. And so then when you set out to do something, you don't quite get to where you want to be. And so then it becomes overwhelming. Okay. Really, I want to reframe what overwhelm is. And overwhelm is simply being in your head with thoughts and not having a clear plan of action. And so how do you overcome that feeling of overwhelm? So I want to read a quote by Mark Twain. It goes like this: "The secret of getting ahead is getting started. The secret of getting started is breaking your overwhelming tasks into manageable tasks, and then you start with the first one." The next part of this exercise of what I'd like for you to do is really, after you've written all your thoughts down about why weight loss is overwhelming or why you feel so overwhelmed in your life, the next step I want you to write down is, what are the things that you need to get done in your life or for your health? What do you need to do? What do you feel like needs to happen in order for you to achieve your weight loss goals. And I want you to write that down. Pen and paper, write it down, because it's not enough to think about it. And in my opinion, it's not even enough to write it down in the computer or save it in your phone. I want you to actually pen to paper, because there's something that happens within your brain when you write it down. So get in the habit of writing this down. That's why I love journaling, because you're getting all those thoughts out of your mind and onto paper. And because you are such a dynamic woman, you can look at that and go, okay, well, that is probably not a true thought. Weight loss is not overwhelming. What's overwhelming is all the ideas that you have in your mind that you feel like you have to do right now. When you take those thoughts out of your mind and onto paper, you can look at that paper and go, okay, well, I can focus on these two things this week. Maybe you're focusing on drinking your water. Maybe you're focusing on eating more vegetables. So we know those are two powerful things when improving our health, but they're such simple things. They're also so simple and easy not to do. And so maybe you just set that out for yourself and say, okay, these are the two things I'm going to focus on this week. And it doesn't have to be more than that. And then once you get used to that, then you add on to what you want to do next. So then let's talk about what are some of the manageable tasks in your life that you're doing that you really don't want to be doing. Oftentimes for myself, I have this idea that I have to do everything myself. And so then I get so stressed out and then I do nothing because it feels way too overwhelming. So what do I have to do to get the support, put myself in a place of success? I have to take a step back. I have to write down, what do I need to do? What do I need to accomplish? I have a schedule, a master schedule that tells me every single thing I have to do in the week. And how do I get those things accomplished? Is number one, I know what I need to do. Number two, I master my mindset. That is a huge piece you will hear me talk about. Is weight loss is twofold. It's number one, you've got to put the right foods in your body for your body to support weight loss, preferably effortless weight loss. Number two, if you've got to master your mindset. And that's why I work so much on this with you, because you can know everything you need to do, but until you master that mindset and master that thought process, chances are you're not going to follow through and take those massive actions that need to happen in order to get to your goal. I know what I need to do. I work on my mindset. So I do, in fact, do what I say I'm going to do. If I said I was going to write that email last night and get it out, I don't care if it's 10 o'clock at night. If I haven't done it, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do it, because I'm training myself that I can trust myself. And a lot of times when it comes to weight loss, maybe we don't have a success story to look at. Maybe in the past we've lost weight to just put it back on. So the idea of doing this seems overwhelming and hard because maybe all the effort that it takes is not worth it because you feel like it's not going to stay there. And that's where mastering that mindset and uncovering those blocks will help you move past them. That's why awareness is such a big part of my coaching and such a big part of what I do. Because when you have awareness, number one, of your thoughts, number two, of all that really needs to happen in order for you to have successful weight loss, then you can create a plan. Then you know what's coming. Then you know, okay, my feelings are, I'm not so sure that if I put in all this work, I'm going to get to where I want to be. Or that when I do get to where I want to be, it's going to be safe. We have a lot of body stories that are stored within our unconscious minds that until you uncover that, we can't address that. And I actually have a workbook on my site, missgeneralist.com, /spiritual. And it is a workbook to really help you master your mindset and get clear about your old body stories. For me, I've had some difficult situations with men in the past where I would get uncomfortable when I started to lose weight. I began to feel unsafe. I would get attention and I would feel like I didn't know how to handle that. So rather than learn how to handle that, I would eat so I didn't have to feel that. And it's such a powerful thing to understand where your thoughts are coming from so you can reframe them and change that paradigm to experience what you truly want to experience. So mastering that mindset. I get so much done in my life because I know what I need to do. I have a plan to get it done. I've mastered my mindset that I'm going to do it no matter what. And that's the attitude you have to have. When you set out on this weight loss journey, it truly has to be, no matter what, I'm going to do this. Because life is going to happen. You guys have heard me say this before. Life is going to happen. Things are going to get in the way. People are going to be your sabotage. It's going to happen. But if you have a plan and you have the mindset, then no matter what, I'm going to get to this goal. And hey, I've got Jen over here who's going to help me because she's going to give me a kick in the rear end. Whatever that needs to be for you, you have that mindset already that you will get there no matter what. You don't give yourself that opportunity to go backwards. And here's the other thing. As somebody who is a self-proclaimed overachiever, I want everything yesterday. Not real good on the whole patience thing. So when I'm not getting the results I want as quickly as I want them, and I'm feeling overwhelmed, I tend to get bored. I tend to take a step back and go, do I really want this? But what it really is me feeling overwhelmed and being impatient. Okay. And so with this journey, really understanding it takes time. At first, you're going to likely lose a lot of weight, but that's water weight. That's your body responding to removing inflammatory foods and you dropping that water weight. Then as you go, 1 to 2 pounds is a great place to be. That's your body burning fat. And that takes time. And I didn't gain 70 pounds overnight. I wasn't going to lose it overnight. It really had to be me staying focused and committed the whole way through. And I didn't do it alone. I had the support. I had the coach. I had the mentor who could simplify and streamline for me. Those are the major, most impactful things you can do for yourself is write down why you feel overwhelmed. What is your brain telling you to keep you safe? Our brain runs away with us and just wants to keep us comfortable. And so what is your brain running away with you? What is it telling you? Write that down. The next thing you're going to do is really take a look at it and ask yourself, is this true? Is this really true? Is it too hard? Is it you don't have time? Because I'm going to ask you another question. Do you have time to continue feeling the way you feel? Do you have time to not have the energy you want? Do you have time to feel insecure when really having the confidence would open up so much for you in your relationship, in your well-being, in your own understanding of your value and self-love? And that comes from being willing to say, yes, I'm willing. Yes, I'm worthy. Yes, I am going to do this. And I can do this. And operating from that place of empowerment, operating from that place as an achiever in who you are. The next thing then is writing out your plan. How do you plan to get from point A to point B? And then breaking it down into small steps you can focus on. 1 to 2 per week. That's all you need. 1 to 2 simple, most effective steps you can take to get you to where you want to be. That's what it's about. It does not have to be overwhelming. So, what is overwhelm really? Overwhelm is simply you being in your head and not having a clear plan. Feeling like you have to do it all alone, figuring out thinking, okay, I've got to figure all this out all on my own, and I don't want to have to do that. So it feels overwhelming. Stick with me, get my newsletters, go download your free guide. Let me take that guesswork out for you and just follow that easy to follow, simple, effective plan that I've created so you don't have to figure it out for yourself. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to be opening up my cart for this Smart Keto Academy so that you have that solid foundation of what it actually takes to lose weight, to become a fat burner, and that you don't have to think about it. You've got the meal plans, you've got the recipes, you've got the videos, you've got the modules that help you understand your body so that you know how to support her in the best way possible so that you can release weight with ease. And you have the accountability and support that when it gets hard, you still keep going. That is what I want for you. I want you to continue to be the achiever that you are. And I want you to prove yourself right, that you can do this. I believe in you. I know you can do this. It is just a matter of creating that plan within your life and how it works for you to get there. Remember that as you go about today. Remember that Mark Twain quote that, how do you get ahead? Get started. And how do you get started? You break down what feels like an overwhelming task into simple, effective steps that you can take along that journey. And if you want support with that, then join us, and sure, I will help you get there. Really help you master your mindset and give you the strategies and what actually works to get to your weight loss goals. So that's what I've got for you today. I hope that it's been helpful. I hope that you have a clear plan of how you can sort through that overwhelm and really master your mindset and get clear on what it is that you need to do. Get it out of your mind and onto paper, and then create your plan. That's it. That's the simple thing you need to do. Simple is not always easy because it's also easy not to do, but I promise you that if you do this in all areas of your life, whether it be in your business, whether it be in your career, whether it be with your home, running the household, or whether it be with your weight loss or wellness goals, you write everything down. Write down what your brain is telling you. See how it's tricking you, because what it's telling you is likely not true. You will see that when you write it down. Then write down everything you need to do, and then circle the 1 to 2 things that you can focus on this week, and then make a plan to do so. So that's what I have. You guys have an amazing day, and we will see you next week, same time. So you guys have an amazing week ahead. Blessings and health and happiness, and we will see you over in the Facebook group if you're not already in there. See ya.
Hey, one more thing before you go. I want to invite you to a free masterclass I created called Keto Done Right. I will teach you the smart and strategic way to go keto so you can end sugar cravings, restore gut health, boost your metabolism, and create healthy, happy hormones. Go to missjenlewis.com/keto and get it before it's gone. I'll see you in there.